my husband insulted our 6-month-old daughter, calling her ugly in front of my parents. When I reproached him for this, he says something like this.
Huh? The fact is she's ugly, right?
My husband glanced at our baby in the crib, laughed disdainfully, and says so. I protested vehemently. She's only 6 months old. Her face will change. No matter her appearance, it's our own child, so she should be cute. Hugo looked at my emotional outburst with cold eyes.
No way my kid could be this ugly. I really wanted her to become a baby model. With this face, modeling is impossible. Truly disappointing.
Huh?
Is this really my child? Not cute at all.
10 years later, by chance when we reunited, we were shocked by each other's appearances. My name is Noelle, and I'm 38 years old. I work as a popular stylist. I coordinate clothes for fashion magazines and work on styling for celebrities at TV stations. At the age of 26, after finishing my apprenticeship, I met Hugo, who would later become my husband. Hugo, 2 years older, was a photographer employed by a publishing company and was very good looking. Hugo, you're more of a model or entertainer than a photographer. So much so that people around me say that. In reality, he gave up on being a model due to not meeting the height requirements. Hugo and I got to know each other through our work, and we ended up dating after he confessed his feelings for me. Hugo was strict not only about his own appearance, but also about the appearance of others. Even during our relationship, there were times he brought up something like this during dates.
Hey, did you see that woman we just passed? She's incredibly fat.
Come on, Hugo. It's better not to speak ill of others' appearances.
What's the matter, Noelle? You must think the same, right?
I wished for him to improve in this aspect. When I started pointing out his negative comments, he eventually stopped making them. Soon, Hugo proposed to me.
With you, Noelle, I believe we can create the ideal family. Will you marry me?
Yes, Hugo. Thank you. I accepted the proposal, greeted each other as parents, and had a wedding ceremony. A year after marriage, I became pregnant. When I shared the news with Hugo, he jumped with joy.
Noelle, you did great. Surely if it's a boy, he'll be handsome, and if it's a girl, she'll be a beautiful child. Regardless of the appearance, our child is ours, so they should be cute.
I responded with a wry smile, but it seemed like Hugo wasn't listening. Soon I gave birth. I gave birth to a healthy girl, and the two of us discussed and decided to name her Evelyn. The day after giving birth, my husband came to the hospital room and peered at Evelyn's face.
Is this really my child? It kinda has a face like a monkey.
What? A monkey? I couldn't help but react immediately. Then a nearby nurse said the following. When they're just born, everyone has similar faces, you know. I think Evelyn is very cute. Upon hearing that, Hugo seemed to nod in agreement.
Yeah, that's right. There's no way my daughter could be ugly.
Come on, just stop it already. I was exasperated by my husband's attitude. Afterward, I was discharged, and life with our family of 3 began. However, Hugo didn't help with household chores or childcare at all. He would go out, claiming it was for work, but he didn't earn much, often returning after drinking somewhere. He never even tried giving milk to Evelyn or attempting to hold her. What's even more infuriating is that he would complain about my appearance while I was busy with childcare and housework.
Hey, Noelle, aren't you getting fat? And you're not even wearing makeup.
It's postpartum. My body shape is going to change. Besides, I don't have time for makeup.
Still, you're a woman. If you're my wife, keep your appearance perfect.
As Hugo continued with such comments, my frustration with him grew. One day, when Evelyn turned 6 months old, my parents came from afar to visit. Is Evelyn doing well? It's Grandma here.
Look, Grandpa brought a new toy. I wonder if she'll like it.
Speaking to Evelyn with affectionate tones, my parents interacted with her, and my daughter giggled happily.
Her face has become quite defined. Is Evelyn taking after Hugo?
Just as my father said this, Hugo immediately twisted his face.
Evelyn taking after me? Come on, please stop it, Dad. Huh? I mean, look at her. She doesn't resemble me at all. Her eyes are small and her nose is flat. Is that so? Maybe she looks like Noelle? I wonder if Noelle looked like this when she was little. At least, I wasn't this ugly, you know?
Hugo says proudly, leaving my parents in shock. I was alone, clenching my fists. To call your own daughter ugly. After my parents hurriedly left, I confronted Hugo. What do you think you're doing? Calling Evelyn ugly? In front of our parents?
Huh? It's a fact that she's ugly.
Hugo glances at Evelyn sleeping in the crib, chuckling disdainfully. I protested vehemently against him. She's only 6 months old. Her face will change. No matter her appearance, it's our own child, so she should be cute. Hugo looked at my emotional outburst with cold eyes.
No way my child could be this ugly. I really wanted her to become a baby model. With this face, modeling is out of the question. I'm really disappointed.
What?
I mean, is she really my child? She's not cute at all.
The moment I heard those words, I reached my limit. Not doing housework or childcare is one thing, but criticizing our child's appearance and even doubting if she's really his own? I don't need a husband like him anymore, and Evelyn is better off without a father like this. I quietly stood up and took out the divorce agreement from the living room cabinet. I can't take it anymore. Please, divorce me. With an emotionless expression, I thrust the divorce agreement at Hugo. He seemed momentarily surprised. Then in the next moment, he showed a smile.
I did it. You're the one asking for a divorce.
Huh?
I didn't want a wife who gave me such an ugly daughter either. It's a relief that you're the one bringing up the divorce.
With that, he confidently signed it and handed it back to me. As he handed it back, Hugo said,
Now, we're complete strangers. I'll remarry someone more beautiful and have a cuter child. You guys can live miserably for all I care.
Is that all you have to say?
Yeah, that's right. I don't make much money, so I won't pay child support either. Well, good luck after I leave.
Hugo packed his things and left the house in high spirits. He didn't even bother to touch Evelyn at the end. I held my daughter and cried alone. In the end, that became the last day I saw Hugo. Afterward, I enrolled Evelyn in daycare and returned to work. With the help of my retired parents, who moved nearby, I managed to balance parenting and work. Evelyn grew up healthy, without major illnesses. 6 years after divorcing Hugo, a significant change came into my life. A man I met on the job, Fred, asked me to go out with him. Fred is successful in his career, has a high social standing, and has never been married.
Noelle, would you consider dating me with the intention of getting married?
With a serious expression, Fred asked me this, and I answered with a bit of confusion. Fred, your feelings makes me happy, but you know I'm a single mother, right? Fred responded gently.
Will you let me be your daughter's father?
Huh?
I care about you. I promise to cherish your precious daughter as well.
Fred, thank you. That evening, I told Evelyn, now a grown-up first grader. Hey, Evelyn, what do you think if Mom said she wanted to remarry? Does that mean I will have a daddy? Squinting her eyes in thought, Evelyn seemed to be waiting for my next words. That's good. I want to meet him too. He's Mom's boyfriend, right? She said with a smile, and I felt relieved. The next weekend, I decided to introduce Evelyn to Fred. Although Evelyn was nervous at first, she quickly warmed up to Fred's kind personality. After several dates involving Evelyn, about a year passed, and Fred formally proposed to me. Even Evelyn said, I want to live with Dad, and I happily accepted. Eventually, Fred, Evelyn, and I started living together. Life with Fred was pure happiness. Despite his busy job, he took the lead in household chores and often took Evelyn out to play. Evelyn loved her dad very much. And it seemed like she shared things with Fred that she wouldn't tell me. Before I knew it, 10 years had passed since I separated from Hugo. Then one day, I was at a studio for a photo shoot. There I noticed a man doing equipment handling whom I recognized. As I set my gaze in his direction, he also noticed and stared at me with a gaping mouth.
Noelle?
It was Hugo. However, his appearance had changed drastically. The once called model or celebrity in his youth had now become significantly overweight, with thinning hair, bearing no resemblance to his former self. In shock, I couldn't say anything, and Hugo continued.
Why are you here, Noelle? Are you the stylist for today's junior clothing shoot?
As I faced Hugo, my daughter ran over. Mom, what are you doing? Seeing 10-year-old Evelyn, Hugo, holding equipment in his hand, dropped it in surprise.
Could it be? You're Evelyn?
It was understandable for Hugo to be surprised. Evelyn had grown into a beautiful girl, unimaginable from her baby days. Distinctive, round, large eyes, a straight nose, a small face, and long limbs. My own daughter seemed like a doll. I'm Evelyn. I'll be modeling for today. And who is this uncle? Evelyn said while hiding behind me and giving a cautious look.
Model?
Seeing Hugo's eyes widen, I sighed and explained. Evelyn is currently a junior model. Didn't you know? She's the most popular one right now. Alternating between my face and Evelyn's, Hugo was left speechless. To him, I quietly said, Are you still working as a photographer?
Well, I haven't been doing much as a photographer. Today I'm assisting a friend who's a professional photographer.
Hugo mumbled, evasively. In reality, I knew that he had been involved with female subjects and that his photography work had declined. Well then, do your best. I casually said that to Hugo and turned away, ready to leave with Evelyn.
Wait a minute, I still have things to talk about.
Hugo hurriedly stopped us. What? There's nothing to talk about.
There is, for me. Anyway, Evelyn has become cute. Truly my daughter.
Hugo seemed to have regained his composure, grinning as he tried to reach out to Evelyn. Evelyn quickly dodged his attempt. My daughter? Mom, what is he talking about? Evelyn, this man is your biological father. Evelyn twisted her face in response. What? This dull-looking middle-aged man is my father? While Hugo was surprised, I couldn't help but burst into laughter. Evelyn, you shouldn't say things like that, even if they're true. But, Mom, this man has no sense of cleanliness. He's fat, and his hair is thin. Looking back and forth between Hugo and me, Evelyn delivered her judgment, causing me to clear my throat. He didn't even bother to contact us for the past 10 years. The connection is long gone. Let's go, Evelyn. Just as I was about to leave again, Hugo grabbed my arm. Hey, let go.
Noelle, let's start over.
Huh? Looking at Hugo, I noticed tears in his eyes.
Since I parted with you, Noelle, I've been eating out a lot, and I ended up like this. I realized I can't live without you.
That's your own responsibility, isn't it? Why now?
Besides, Evelyn has become a beauty just like me. A popular stylist for a wife, a beautiful daughter who's a model. It's my ideal. Let's start over, okay?
I sighed deeply. How absurd. Who was it that said he wanted to marry someone more beautiful and have cute children?
Ugh.
Hugo, confronted with his past words, looked defeated. With this appearance, he wouldn't attract women, as he did in his youth.
Don't say that. We're a family, right? Come here, Evelyn. I'm your real dad.
Evelyn looked anxious. As I tried to shake off Hugo's hand, a voice echoed across the floor.
Do you have any business with my wife and daughter?
Turning around, there stood my current husband, Fred. Seeing him, Hugo stared with wide eyes. Actually, Fred's height is 6 feet 3. A former model, he also has a fairly handsome appearance.
Wife? And daughter? Noelle, did you remarry?
I shook off Hugo's hand and told him. Yes. Did you think I spent the last 10 years crying over you?
You traitor!
What? You have no right to say that to me. At that moment, a professional photographer who had hired Hugo passed by.
Hey, Hugo. What are you doing? The equipment hasn't been moved yet. Wait, is that the president? Why are you here? Huh?
Hugo looked confused. The cameraman lowered his head to Fred, who was the president. Then Fred smilingly said,
Today is a special day. My daughter is wearing clothes for my brand for a photo shoot. I wanted to show my face. Please take good care of the shoot.
The cameraman hastily went into preparations for the shoot.
President? Could it be that the brand being photographed today is...
Fred smiled in response to Hugo's question.
Yes, it's a brand from my company. Is there a problem?
Hugo suddenly found himself at a loss for words.
You married the president of such a famous brand?
Yes, my current husband is perfect. You can't compete with him in any way. Saying this, I leaned towards my husband. Evelyn also clung to Fred's arm, glaring at Hugo. My dad is only this person. Go away, mister. Perhaps pushed by Evelyn's words, Hugo collapsed on his knees on the spot. After that, the photographer, having learned the situation, kicked Hugo out of the studio and terminated his employment contract. Of course, there was no way for Hugo to return to his job as a photographer. With no more equipment carrying work, he now lives in a rundown apartment and does manual labor. Even after that, Hugo contacted me a few times, expressing a desire to meet. But Fred warned him.
If you persist, I'll call the police.
After that warning, he fell silent. I feel no emotions towards Hugo, who is likely leading a miserable life somewhere. I can only hope that he'll do his best. On the other hand, I continue to lead a happy life with Fred and Evelyn. Our relationship as a couple is good. Work is going smoothly, and Evelyn is flourishing as a popular model. I look forward to continuing to live peacefully with my beloved husband and daughter in the future.